for the people listening, Scrum is not an acronym. It does not stand for, and I don't have a made up word to get this acronym out. It actually was borrowed from some research where they found, and it was research done by Nanaka and Takeuchi. Nanaka, I always tell people, he's like the Michael Jordan of research in Japan. And they were studying companies for decades. And the research they published in the Harvard Business Review was called the new product development game. And I did not stutter, Jeff. The word new shows up twice. So if you Google it, it's the new product development game. And they found that people working in flow, very specific ways, entire organizations were aligned and moving in the same direction. And for those of you listening, think about your current project. You have a set of individuals that sometimes move together to achieve things, but a lot of the time are operating independently as if there are no deadlines or milestones or, and fill in the blank. So I think that's the magic of what Scrum does for people. It gets alignment. It makes the work super visual. Its background and basis, its foundation is lean principles, particularly the ones on my chest. For those of you watching this on YouTube, it's respect for people and continuous improvement. And for those of you listening, it's a Felipe branded shirt. And I have like more than 20 of these. So don't think I'm wearing the same shirt every day. I just have so many shirts. So that's the foundation. It makes things visual and it creates a few rules, Jeff, literally a handful of rules that allow you to get as close to one piece flow as possible. So you're doing one thing at a time at the right quality, at just the right time for the perfect handoff to the person receiving your work. So your time is not wasted. And it's fun. It's fun to be in flow.
Listen, I know Nathan wants to jump in, but I had this experience in DevOps as a DevOps engineer, and that's where I was introduced to Scrum and introduced to it. And I still can remember, the person who taught us in our first Scrum Master, and I think I'll never forget him because it was flow. It was literally an entire team working together every 2 weeks on doing exactly what we were doing, being exactly in lockstep. And even some of our planning was done on ski resorts, skiing, and we could ski and get on a lift and focus and get so much done and be so in lockstep that flow was there. And that's where I was introduced to flow at work. I had known flow in other places. Obviously, from that state, you experience it in sport and skiing in particular, and biking and a couple others. But at work, I didn't know that could happen, and it was truly unique to. And it's got to be kind of evident when you see people hitting that state and then watch them hit their true potential.
It's incredible. It's liberating because you see a lot of people, and I work with a lot of teams, Jeff and Nathan, where they're just working way too hard for what they're getting done. And a lot of it is miscommunication, and everyone listening is like, duh, we know miscommunication is a problem like that, but all of you saying, duh, what action do you take to fix it? And the answer is you got to make it visual so that people can align, make it easy. And just a handful of rules will change your whole game. Like literally 3 steps. Like I wanted to talk about prioritizing your work so that you can live, only because people struggle with all of these competing priorities with an S. And I know, Nathan, you got to have some opinion on priorities, don't you?
Well, I mean, I want to go back to this balance. Yes, priorities. And I think the 2 priorities are right there on your chest. It's respect for people and continuous improvement is sort of, there's like this image, I think, if you Google, of like a person balancing kind of between those 2 concepts. And to me, I've always felt like that's that Stretch Armstrong of, the respect for yourself, your own time, your own priorities, the respect for others that you have to work with. And to your point of, there's so many different moving parts in this industry. And where I'm at in my lean journey is sort of this knowing doing gap of like, just because I know what I should be doing doesn't mean I'm good at doing it. And so that's maybe I'll flip to you and see how you respond to like where have you struggled, or where you maybe continue to struggle with any of those, all these different lean principles that we have to follow? Is there one that's, because some are kind of easy and kind of come naturally, others maybe not. Is there one that's been harder for you?
I think the hardest one, that's why I put it on the top of my chest, is the respect for people, because we often, and I'm guilty of this too, I got my hand up, I will sometimes sacrifice my own health for a commitment or promise I made because I want to maintain a high level of trust with the people I work with. And there have been times where I don't get enough sleep at night because I'm up until midnight responding to something where I said, yeah, I'm going to get that to you today. At 7 a.m., I'm going to get that to you today. Seemed like no problem. I've got, 6 more, 8 more, 10 more hours. And then something happens, something changes, priorities shift. And then instead of just communicating to the person when I made that stupidly optimistic commitment, I should have asked them, like, when do you need this by? And then planned it in my work. And so if I use the framework to my advantage, I can avoid having those, either losing trust with somebody if a promise is going to potentially be broken, or being crystal clear on when they need something and giving it to them when they need it, not earlier than they need it.